Hey folks, it's Ben. I think we're pretty much looking at video day 4 probably of this whole project. Anywho, what we have here is a mower that has no compression, which sucks. Mower that doesn't get any gas, which I don't really have time to dink around with today. And then I have my gorgeous Honda over here. Clearly a dump pick, no front end on it. Motor runs like a kitten. Bad knock, but it runs pretty good. But the deck is useless to me. I probably picked this one from the dump because it didn't have compression. Somebody trucked it, threw it away. The deck on it's gorgeous. It's in great shape. Wheels are good, all that stuff. But if the motor's blown, so be it. I got lots of, if this deck was gone but the motor is great, hey, you can switch them around. How do you do that? How do you switch a deck on a mower? Real easy. On the bottom side, and this one's going to fall over if I do it, there are 3 bolts on the underneath, and there's a hole for 1, hole for 2. Typically there's another one on the other side. So there's 3 on the bottom. Take the blade off, of course, and that's it. That's all that holds this thing on. So if I reach down here, pick it up, set it aside for now, that's a mower deck. So all the money is here. So when you buy a $200, $300 mower, you're buying that. That's just pressed steel with some wheels. Not really anything to care about. But anyway, so I've got a beautiful deck, a mower that needs a deck. Can I move my Honda over to this Briggs & Stratton? Now, if it were Briggs to Briggs or, same model to same model, great. Initial measuring say yes. Maybe the decks are standardized. So I'm now going to pull the 3 bolts that hold this Honda off and see if I can put this Honda motor over here on this, was it Lawn Flow? Really? Oh, Lawn Flight motor, or mower deck. Miracle of editing. Hey, here's a Honda deck with no motor on it anymore. Measuring the holes did line up. Good for me. That motor came off easy. Hardest thing to do was to move the cables over because they're still in good shape. So they've been moved over. The Honda has 2 dead man controls. It has a had a handle back here, so you'd have to squeeze the handle for it to even go, for the blade to run, and then it had a throttle here. And then if you put the throttle to off, it turns it off. So there's technically, I guess one's not a dead man control, but the stopping the blade while the engine's running, it would actually kill the blade if it were closed type of thing. So I've had to take that off, primarily because the connections to get in under the deck to do that, like there's a hole right there, that black hole you see, to a cord that comes under to release the clutch. Also the clutch mechanism between the springs and stuff that keep the clutch open or closed, I think closed actually, are just too big for the hole. So the only thing I've got left and why I wanted to shoot this video, or this segment of the video, was that on this motor, let me pick it up. So in lifting up the motor, there's one connection here where the mechanism to hold this clutch back and forth hangs out, and it hits right here on the deck. Other than that, all the bolt holes actually match up, so I can actually bolt this thing to this deck and it will run. And it actually has the brake being released, so it's not an issue for me anymore, and I can still turn it off by just turning the throttle all the way down. So that's a win for us, but I do have to take the grinder real quick, and we'll just grind this whole part out, and that way it can fit right on to the deck, and we'll get her fired up after that. Alrighty, we got our notch cut out. Here's my little grinding blade. If you guys want to see this live action, I can get a tripod. Let me know. Leave me a comment or something, and I'll record me cutting and stuff. But long story short, cut in, cut from top. There's a little hole I need to get out. Let's go see if the deck fits. Cool little action shot right here. So we have our tolerance between the deck and the motor. We cleared out our place where we've got our aluminum right here. The original motor was bolted down with 3 bolts, and so does our, and there were actually only 3 holes in the deck. They do match up with ones that were on our Honda motor. Now this clutch assembly is different. Like I said, it's the dead man control on the Honda, and the lever came here, and this actually moves. If you move it, you see it's actually pushing a clutch down on this wheel here that's connected to the motor. And with springs and stuff, which were all in the way up here, we had to take all the springs off. So now it sits released. So now there is no dead man brake. Big deal, right? But another cool thing about this motor that works great for this deck is that the recoil is right on top here. There's no string that goes back, so that's less crap to deal with. The motor runs great. In fact, I wish I had done a spring video on it. I didn't. But the last thing I essentially have to do, because I know the motor works great, is the throttle control. Alright, so Honda motor, new deck. Because that mower failed, the other mower failed. Long story short, here it is. I know this motor works. There's no more brake assembly. Let's see how that goes without any adjustment on that. And on the Honda, the throttle used to be over here. Now it's over here. Some zap ties and a bolt. We'll see how this goes as well. But it's a real easy starting machine. So in theory, we go all the way to high, which it's at, and that turns on the choke apparently automatically. This machine, like I said, has a knock and leaks fuel. So if you turn the valve off on the bowl, it's all peachy. And I'm going to stall while the bowl fills up. And yeah, I'll give it a pull here. I did check the oil again, and the blade is nice and tight now. So let's see. Little bit of vibration. Knock's not so bad with a lot of that deck stuff off. So hey, maybe it's a good machine, but yay for a new mower. Now let's do our dethatching video.